From NBC, one that could change primetime television. It involves late-night king Jay Leno and some big plans for his future. Channel 4's Patrick Healy live at Jay's TV home, the NBC studios right here in Burbank, just down the hall. Patrick.
Calling, Chuck, it is break the mold time, and the gambit expected to be announced by NBC will be a bold step out of the box that has long defined primetime TV.
It's The Tonight Show with Jay Leno.
The perennial king of late-night TV has kept the showbiz world wondering nearly 5 years now. What will Jay Leno do when he retires from The Tonight Show next year and hands the reins to
Conan O'Brien later?
Now we know the answer, uncovered first by the New York Times shortly before this was reported on NBC Nightly News.
There'll be a change in the primetime television landscape.
The expectation is Leno will continue to do his shtick every weeknight on NBC, except earlier, from 10 to 11 p.m., an unprecedented move for a 5 times a week show to run in primetime.
The Leno move really is a twofer for the network. Because
Troy Gold entertainment law attorney Jonathan Handel notes that NBC keeps Leno on the air and keeps him from the competition.
At the same time, it allows the network to leave scripted programming by the wayside for that hour. And scripted programming has become very difficult for the networks because of labor unrest, because of the cost, because of the influence of technology.
Behind Handel, even as he spoke, members of the Screen Actors Guild were meeting to consider authorizing a strike vote. Worried about the future, some members would prefer not to lose an hour of primetime.
Yeah, and I don't like that.
Yet a year after Leno brought donuts to writers during their strike, you also heard this.
I'm a fan of people who are making a living doing what they love.
You no doubt have already noticed this, but in the interest of full disclosure, we will mention that The Tonight Show and Channel 4 News share the same home here at NBC Burbank. That announcement expected at 9 a.m. in the morning. Perhaps then we'll get some details. Live at NBC Burbank, Patrick Healy, Channel 4 News.
Thanks, Patrick. Now to the weather.
File of the Screen Actors Guild met behind closed doors to discuss the pros and cons of a strike. Susan Hirosona joins us live from Hollywood with reaction from tonight's meeting. Susan.
Well, Carlos, let me tell you, this closed-door session, well, it was standing room only, and you can see there some of the members are now just starting to file out. Some members never even made it inside of the meeting. But for those who did go inside, when the issue was laid out for them, the union members decided, or they were leaning certainly heavily toward a strike. No Tom Hanks, no Julia Roberts. That is Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Sally Kirkland.
You know, of course we're here to hear all of this because it's survival.
But most who attended the SAG meeting are not household names.
I work 2 days this year. I've worked 2 days. I've made it through on the residuals I've earned from the 30 years I did before.
Residuals for new media are the sticking point, and after a presentation by the SAG board, those who went in undecided came out ready to strike. So you're ready to strike?
Oh, yeah.
SAG presented a future where an entire generation never turns on a TV and instead gets most of their entertainment from the internet.
I mean, if we give up these rights, how are we ever going to be able to negotiate residuals again? So what the things they're talking about is this could be the beginning of the end of residuals, and that concerns me.
But could a strike cost the Guild more in the short run than they'll ever gain in the long run? Jonathan Handel blogs extensively about the negotiations.
But in the short term, the issue is, are you giving up analog dollars and fighting over digital pennies, taking a union out on strike over next to nothing?
Okay. All right, well, this paper was released to the members, and it's quite influential, apparently. It describes what a yes vote is versus a no vote. And on the no vote side, it says things like no retro pay, no residuals, and most made for new media production. All of those, well, those are fighting phrases to the union members of SAG. Reporting live in Hollywood, Susan Hirosona, Fox 11 News.
What was supposed